Hey everyone, did that work? I don't know. Someone write something. Hopefully everyone came over from Vendra, and I know you had a good pairing session with him. Hey, thanks for joining everyone. So it did work. Okay, so it is a / raid rather than an ! Raid. Okay, so I made that mistake yesterday. So I was watching the stream and it was learning lots of good stuff from Andrew with the Angular and the Node and so on. So that was really good. Yeah, no problem, Vendra. We also, actually, Vendra, before you get some tea, I know you've been talking for the last hour or so. Can you just call me on Discord, and so I can get your camera up where where Discord is. I'll have a play with that and get that working because it's the first time we do that. And also, while you're getting your tea, I can fill everyone in on the tweaks I did this morning. So normally what we've been doing is talking about open source and Dashboard Hub and all over the last couple of weeks. But yesterday we decided to do something quite different and build a game in JavaScript. And we're using Phaser. It is on GitHub, as you can see here, under the organization Twitch Coders, and then we called the game Warp Blaster, AR, remember that. So also what we have done is, this is what we got to yesterday. I've made a few improvements since then. I tidied up the code a little bit, and I've put the quick start in the README. I also added flu bits this morning. So if you click on this link, what you can see is you can actually see the code in your browser as we code it. And also you can use it in your IDE. So here is me practicing with Andrew, who you've just been listening to, Vendra, and it's me using IntelliJ, and it works in Atom and other ones as well. So what I tidied up this morning was, if I show you the commits, so added flu bits, like I said, I removed some unused code, I separated the files. So what we'll have now, if I actually bring up the code, what we have now is, I moved the index file outside source, and then I'm keeping all the JavaScript in the source, because the index file, all it has is just include the JavaScript. I did have to put a random, the time now, otherwise I noticed that it cached it, which is a bit annoying. So I put that in, and then I removed the game config that we did yesterday, Gravity still commented out, to this game.js, and then I've created, they call it a scene in their docs, but I called it a level 1. I don't know if that's the right name. We could rename it later if we need to. And I moved it to ES6 because that was mentioned yesterday to do it in ES6. We did start off with TypeScript, but all the examples and tutorials were in JavaScript. So we thought to keep it simple. Well, I have got a message. Here we go. Got Vendra. Okay, join call. I probably want to mute myself. Okay, and I probably want to. I don't know what deafen means, but then hopefully get your camera up and I'll put it here in the bottom right. So yeah, it moved to ES6, so I went from TypeScript to the JavaScript examples, which was ES5, and then today, let me connect to FluBits so Andrew can also follow and code along. You can actually make changes, overwrite remote files. So now you'll see the changes, and Andrew can also make changes to the code. It's a bit more of a pair programming. Hopefully we'll achieve them a lot more than we did yesterday. So now we're on ES6, and so it's a class, and all I changed was moving it to ES6, and I did change the position of the sprite. So now if you look at it, if I refresh the page, it starts off a bit higher as well. I changed the position and then the ship, and I did a rotate as well. So if I go back to the code and go, here we go, angle 90. So I rotated it down. So, and we can still move around in our game. So it still works. So that still looks good. And I did also create some issues. But do create some of your own issues if you want, of stuff we can do, and with links to resources. Actually, while I'm talking and waiting for Andrew to get his tea, can someone find a resource for like an image that's like a bullet or something shooting out? Because what I'd like to do is as a next step, So these are the issues. So player image correctly positioned. Oh, I have done that. Let me close that. It's done. The next step, I thought we could make the player shoot because the player moves around. So if we can get a sprite for the shooting, so for like the bullet, and then we'll add velocity to the firepower so we can make it shoot across the screen. And we will also and then add a sound effect. I thought that'd be pretty good. So that's the plan. I don't know if I show you this, you can see my kind of all my screens and all my setup. This was I had Vendra playing on the big screen at the top, and I don't know what it says at the bottom of the chat. You probably can't see right here at the bottom. It says JTV. I don't know what that means, but yeah. So I've sort of reduced the amount of cameras and screens I'm actually showing. I think they got a bit cluttered. So yeah, that's the plan. That's what we've got so far, and there is and that's the plan. So I think we should do this one next. Oh, let me put my mouse over that. Do you have any? If you have any questions, do ask. And if you have any thoughts and ideas, do say, and we'll include it. I think once you've got kind of a bit of the physics working, maybe with an object, with a gravity, as was mentioned yesterday, and some other bits and pieces, then we'll just open the ideas up even more and see what kind of crazy game we can build. So we were also going yesterday through the steps. So we were on part 7. This was controlling the player with the keyboard. We didn't want to do a jump, so we did the control Stardust. I don't know what this one is for. Okay, for the stars, we don't want that. A score to settle. Okay, so scoring, right, okay. I don't think we want to scoring yet. We're probably on to more the shooting. So I did see, so what should we do? So okay, skip the scores part for now. What we probably want to do is add a sprite for the bullet, so someone can share a link to that, or I can find one. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna have a sip of my tea. I don't know if you noticed my mug is a GitHub mug, so this encourages me every day to make contributions to GitHub. We did have a fork of the project yesterday. I can't remember who that was. If you have done any work, do contribute it back, or do show us, and we can have a look. So let me, if no one's got a sprite, where can I look for? Game sprite, game images. I think I don't know what people search for. Well, not that one. Game bullet sprite. Was it called a sprite? Yeah, something like this. Images. I know it's early morning on a Saturday, but feel free to jump in and come up with some of the images if you can find some better than mine. So what we could do, and what looks kind of normal, we could choose one of these, right? Okay, no, too complicated. Game open source bullet sprite. I don't know where people search for these things. Someone was finding them very quickly yesterday. Open source might not be the right word. Free. I do want bullet, I should write bullet or fire and a bullet probably. What can I spell? Bullet sprites. I still think that's the best one. Let's have a look. Open image in new tab. Yeah, because we can use kind of the red ones or the grey ones. Okay, save image to downloads. Let's do that. And oh, a link's been posted. Yes. So Nightbot, God Greeny, thanks for joining and contributing. Kenny Asset. Okay, but if you're in Discord, the link is below. You can submit links in there and so on. It is quite easy and open. But Nightbot on Twitch is a bit more stricter. I probably need to sort something out with that. Okay, I can Google that. So Kenny asset. I spelled that right. Nice. Okay, cool. And then what did you search for? Like bullet? Weapon pack. Nice. Oh, okay, that's a different kind of weapon. Maybe bullet isn't the right search term. I'll do this one 2D. And not to search. Sports pack. Top. Here we go. Pirate, holiday, sci-fi, shooter, space shooter. I saw that. Here we go. That's some good rockets there. Yeah, it's all the packs out on there, not single objects. Okay, that probably makes it easier. Okay, so download. Let's download that. We'll donate later, Kenny. Okay.
I am here, but I've just realised if I want to keep my volume up on Twitch, so I'm going to go grab a headset.
Ah, okay, got you. Okay, no worries. Could everyone hear Andrew when he was talking just then, by the way? Is that going to come through okay for all of you? I don't know how to kind of connect Discord to the Twitch stream just yet. So we're still learning how to code game dev, and also learning how to stream as well. Okay, so I've downloaded that. That's pretty good. Okay, got that, and then got the sprite. Okay, so I'll just bring this over here to show you what I'm doing. So what I'm doing is rockets. No, we don't want rockets. I don't think we want any of those rockets. Ships. Oh, they do have ships as well, but I'm probably not going to change that now because I've just got that ship sorted. We can change it later. Is it effect missiles? No, it's not it. Missiles maybe. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Let's pick a small duddy one, and then we can improve it later. So if I open a new thing and go to downloads, and we go to our game War Blaster, and then in source we've got assets. Let's just copy this whole thing in here. Let me see, should we just copy, I'll copy the whole project. Okay, and then what we will do in the code is we will get the actual location of it. So I'm just going to use a single object for now, missiles, and then the first one. Can I do something with that? Let's see the name, the path. There we go. So back to the code. We're going to, when we add, we're going to add the, I'm not going to add it as a sprite, so we're going to add it as an image. I'll put it on the line below. Okay. And we're going to call it, what was it called? It's a missile. Missile. And it's in source assets. If I just look at the bottom here, assets. Actually, you know what? I find it in here. It's even easier because then I can just right click and say copy path. Missiles. Just grab the first one and say copy relative path. If I minimize that for the moment and then put this in here. There we go. Make that a bit wider. Okay, let's add it to the page. Let's see, how do we add it to the page? So add, okay, we want to add missile. And we're going to add it in a different position, so let's just say, I don't know, 400 across and 300 down, so it's probably got quite centered. So let's have a look. Go back to, oh, our game's in Chrome, it's just over here. See, there we go, have a missile coming out from the building. Okay, it's coming from the wrong direction. We're gonna work on that. So what we want to do is then probably rotate it. Let me see. If we want to rotate it, I'll have to do, if I just do this, missile equals that, and then we can go this missile.
Okay, hopefully you can hear me.
I can hear you. Can everyone else hear Andrew? Don't be shy. I know it takes about 20 seconds for the messages to kind of come through.
Well, there's going to be a delay though, because every time I talk, it's about 10 seconds before it comes through to you. So we're going to have quite a slow conversation here.
Oh, cool. God Greeny, thanks for confirming that. Andrew, why don't you mute it on Twitch and just listen on Discord, because then that will be real time with me. It's all a learning curve. Rotate 90. Okay, so the missile is the right way now.
You're muted on Discord though, right?
I'm muted on Discord. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Okay, mute Twitch, and I'll unmute myself on Discord. Let's just see. How does that work? Hopefully no feedback for everyone. Andrew, can you hear me okay? Can everyone else hear me okay? I can't hear you, Andrew.
It's just going to be really confusing, but yeah, we can work with it.
Okay. Right. I've added a missile as an image. What we probably want to do is set the position of that to come from. I wonder if we can add. Let's add a velocity to it. We could also. Oh, we can see Andrew as well now. Okay. I don't know how to just do it. So I expand. What does this do? There we go. That kind of works. It's got the chat on the side, but that's fine. Kind of works. I don't know what this one does. This one probably goes full screen. Okay. So we can see Andrew.
It will be a bit unusual though. People will see my mouth moving after I've spoken.
It's a magic trick. Andrew, did you see my new edition of my swag, my GitHub mug?
I haven't seen the GitHub mug, but I am using my Hearthstone mug here for those that play Hearthstone.
And are you able to make changes in the code, by the way?
I'm on Fluebit, so in theory, yes. So what would you like to look at? Anything particular?
Yeah, I was going to suggest adding a velocity to the missiles. The missile's facing right. I was just going to say just make it kind of go right, and that is done. I think you can go this missile dot set velocity x. No, y. Y, but it's going that way. Y, and just set it to whatever, 100. So let's see if that works. So look, no hands. Andrew's typing. Yeah, I would say to where we would do it under the angle, but I don't know if it really matters. It probably happens so quickly anyway. So yeah, I'm not typing. It's just like pair programming and streaming on a game.
I assume you want it to go pretty quick, right? So we need to have decent velocities.
Oh yeah, that's true. It needs to go faster. Okay, maybe make it a bit.
It's not shit maybe one speed.
Yeah, maybe make it a bit slower so people can see it on the stream because they might kind of miss it.
Okay, we'll go like 200, a little bit faster than the ship. But
okay, so if I have you saved? Have I saved that? Does that save automatically? I don't know. Refresh. Error. Set velocity y is not a function on missile. Ah, it's because it hasn't got a physics. No, physics add sprite. Okay, so that was my mistake. I added it as a normal image. So I need to go physics add like that, I think. And refresh that. Okay. Oh, y is vertical. It's x and y. Should have remembered that from school. So can you add an x? Well, I can change that, I suppose. There we go. There we go. We've got a firing rocket. Pew pew.
I think I need to run the project locally so I can navigate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do that. So there we go. I'm refreshing it again for everyone who's watching. We've got that going forward. Oh, and I can chase it with my vehicle, but it's not going as fast because it goes slower. I can't wait till we do like power ups, and then you can move faster and kind of get a bigger ship. Hey, Sneaky Gamer, thanks for joining. Yeah, so we're kind of building a game, or trying to build a game. We started it yesterday, and it's open source on GitHub, so you can follow. I'll paste the link again into the chat. If anyone wants to follow the code and contribute, follow the code and contribute and so forth. So, sprite for shooting. I think we ticked that. We've got the sprite for shooting. Add the velocity to the firepower. We've done that. I don't think we're ready for sound effects yet, because what we need to do is add a step for press the fire button to fire the missile. And then we also need
to lock into where the location of the missile is, or where the ship is to fire from the ship.
Starting location to be the ship. Okay, so we've got a few more things to do. Okay, it's never as easy as you think. So cool.
Probably you need to shift the missile. Well, I suppose the create needs to be called dynamically, right? Because you've got the player on the screen. So you need to probably make a new method that's going to dynamically create a missile. Yeah?
Let me think. Yeah, so we've got the missile image. It's kind of there and ready. And why don't you make that change, because there's one other change I want to do. If you're happy to do that. The thing I want to do is I want to change the ship to be one of the ones from the new pack that we've got. I'll do the easy work, you could do the hard work. Just like at the VR hackathon that we won, you did all the hard work and I did all the easy work.
Yeah, the downside here is that you've actually been reading some of the docs and doing some stuff. I've not really done much yet.
I watched like a tiny YouTube 5-minute intro. Yeah, I am.
So I've read a bit about some colliders, so how do we start by dynamically adding something to the screen, I guess I need to look up. So you can carry on talking if you want, work on a different part, and I'll have a look and see if I can work on the missile, and I'll shout when I think we're making some progress, yeah?
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I'll make this change. So what I plan to do is I'm going to delete the ship, and I want to add one of these ships. So yeah, God Greeny, look into Phaser and give us some tips so you can help us. Let me see. We've got ships. Here we go. Is that the smallest one? Let's pick a small one because we want to upgrade. Yeah, pick a boring one. So if I right click, copy relative path, add it to this. Okay, we can make that full screen so it doesn't wrap. Excuse me. So we've got that, and if I refresh the game now, I broke it. Did you break it, Andrew?
Yeah, this is where if two of us are typing, I guess I need to be careful when it saves.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
But I was just starting to add another. I was just looking at what the cursor control button input for grabbing. Press the button. I know where I'm going to put the code, so I was just going to do that. But, yeah, I won't touch anything if you're well, we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. We'll get better at it, I'm sure. I'm going to change that from a sprite to an image, and then if I save that and refresh it, okay, cool. So that's working, and we can still move the ship around. It's pretty damn big. Let's rotate it because it's kind of facing back. That's backwards, right? Anyone watching? I'm not a huge gamer anymore in my old age, but it looks like that ship's facing backwards. So let's rotate it. So player angle 90. So let's just put that to 0 and see which way that's facing. It's down, so we want minus 90. There we go, okay. Cool. Okay, so we've got the right thing. Let's make it smaller actually, it's a bit big. So I think we can do something like this, dot player, is it size or scale? Size. It's a ambidextrous ship. I'm glad you spelt that. I couldn't have spelt that. Did you Google it first? Tell us the truth. Or did you actually know how to spell it? Can I do this? I wonder if I can do this. No, that didn't work. Okay, I'll have to Google that. Phaser, image, size. We want Phaser 3 as well because it's the newer version, all time, past year. Phaser 2, Phaser 3 image. Spell check it, gotta love Chrome. Yeah, true. you prefer to download documentation, no. Okay, size. Let me search in the page for size. Okay, this is update. This is not going to help. Size or resize. Let's have a look. Static size, size number, size integer, size object. Body. I have no idea. Oh my god, it's 38 pages of size. Yeah, maybe resize. Scale. Oh, these are generated docs. Okay. Page Y time. Where did my size go? Resize. Oh, there we go. Resize. I don't think it's what I'm thinking it's gonna do. Let's go back. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So let's go back a bit. Back to Google. Phaser image size. It's not a sprite, but I'm guessing the principle. So all it takes us to that page every time. Okay. Because I'm doing so badly, I'm going to kind of try and redeem myself by showing my lovely setup on my screens. So yeah, a big screen at the top with nothing on it. I did have Andrew doing his project on there before. But okay, enough about that. Distracted you with that. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either. You're not. Have a look, if you go to GitHub and just have a quick look, there isn't much code to it. So index.html is just including the JavaScript files, and have a look at game, which is just setting up the game, is in the width and the height. It's an arcade mode, and it includes level 1, which is the other JavaScript file, and then just have a look at level1.js. That's what we did yesterday, and that is working. And there are instructions in the README if you do want to kind of download and have a play. Okay, cool. So yeah, if certainly these like lines of code that make sense to you, it's okay, they don't make sense to us. We're kind of guessing and copying and pasting off the internet. That's what development's about, right? After kind of 14, 15 years, it's just copy and paste development. Right, okay, let me go back to searching for this. If anyone else can beat me to it, don't be shy, do search. It's Phaser 3, and we will resize image. This keyword hasn't been great, so if the user get confused. So yeah, in this case, because we're in a class, this scopes the class. So it allows me to say, if I say this missile equals this, then I can use it in another function. I don't actually use it in another function, but like player. So I've got player here, and I use it down here. So it allows me to use it in across the class. But when you're doing more functional stuff, this is scoped to the function, and in JavaScript you can nest quite deeply the function. So be wary that this is the scope that you're in, rather than the parent code or the parent scope. So sneaky. Lynn, thanks for joining. So I was actually I need to apologize to Lynn. I was meant to have a pairing session and stream it today on Dashboard Hub with Lynn at 11. However, because we did this game yesterday and didn't get as far as we wanted to, I wanted to kind of continue with the game and not lose that momentum and that flow. So Lynn, apologies, but your Penguin game used Phaser. We've got a Phaser expert in the house. Lynn, thank you for joining. That is awesome. You're going to help us figure this all out. And yeah, so me and Lynn are pairing next Saturday on Dashboard Hub stuff with the Angular and serverless and Node stuff. So
sounds like you picked the wrong person to work with you. You need to get Lynn.
But we can add Lynn as well. It's not a problem. Discord adds multiple people. So Lynn, if you want to jump onto Discord, the link is below. I can add your picture next to Andrew. You're much better looking than him anyway. And you're welcome to join and give me some tips, because I am kind of drowning a bit. Oh, you used the Ruby compiler. You did it in Ruby. Okay, that makes sense. Short description on what Phaser actually is. I do plan looking it up further though. So so Phaser is just a JavaScript game engine. Lynn, if you want to write something and explain that better than me, you're more than welcome to, because that was pretty like poor of me to say that. But if I just go bring up Phaser, it is just JavaScript engine for writing games in the browser. And if you go to their website, they have some examples. Most of them are written in Phaser 2, so be wary of that. You don't want that to catch you out. So yeah. And it was recommended, I think, by Dev Journey yesterday, and that was an awesome suggestion. Looks really good and really popular. And Lynn, if you do want to jump on the call, like I said, you're more than welcome to. Let me know. Ping me in Discord, and I can add you to the call, or Andrew can add you to the call. So I'm trying to resize an image. So Lynn, let me show you what we've got so far. Anyone else who's joined? If I refresh it, you've got the missile going across. If I refresh it again, you can see that again. And then you've got our spaceship that we can move around. So I was trying to make the spaceship like half the size because it seems a bit big. I've got the rotate working, so I was hoping size would work, but it doesn't work. If I go dot, what else have we got? Probably it's JavaScript, right? So it's not very good in terms of this player scale set to 5. Nice. Okay. Cool. Okay. Player. What have we got? Player scale. Dot. Okay. No problem. 0.5. I'm going to save it and refresh. Hopefully Andrew hasn't broken the code. Set 2. I need to copy that right. Set 2. Yeah, it's worth a shot, I agree. Lynn, if you have it, okay, stay as a spectator, that's not a problem. If you do have any suggestions, do just write it in the chat. That's fine. Okay, so scale set 2 didn't work. Is there something else on there? You know what, we can leave it for later. That's not a big deal. Someone can research that and we can... oh, Andrew's done something. Spacebar undefined. I see what Andrew's doing. Okay, commenting it out. Okay, thanks Andrew, I'll refresh now. Okay, you can uncomment it. Never thought about this. But it's okay, it'll be okay. You can carry on, Andrew. But yeah, so we'll leave it as a big spaceship. That's fine, not a problem. Okay, so we've got that. Right. So Andrew is doing the firing. So I can try and do the position, Andrew, if that helps.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how you capture other keys, because obviously the cursor keys up, down, left, right, they seem to be readily available. But capturing other keys is, well, the documentation doesn't seem to be giving me the insights I'm after at the moment.
Okay, so if you look at the key, I'll try and position that missile that starts off to come from wherever the spaceship is. So if I move around, and we can also probably position the spaceship randomly. Actually, I might do that first. Let me add that to my list of things to do. If I go back to the issue, player shoots. So let's, not edit that one, edit this one. And people do on the link that I put in the chat, you can just comment below with ideas and so forth as well, in the GitHub as well if you want. So randomly position ship. So therefore it's a bit more interesting each time we start. I will do that next. And then we'll move starting location to be of the ship, and then we'll do the fire button as well, and then we'll do the sound effect. So I will get the angle of the ship to follow the mouse. That would be cool. The angle of the ship to follow the mouse. Do you mean that when I move the mouse around like this, you want it to follow the ship to follow? So so effectively, if I use the keyboard, so do you mean kind of
it's
this?
rotation, yeah, so rotate the front of the ship to follow where the mouse is pointing, I think. I don't know if you want to be able to spin around 360 degrees.
Oh, see what you mean. Okay, rotate the actual angle of it so you can kind of go around an object and shoot it. We'll come to that. I think we're trying to keep it simple for now. Don't think we're there yet. But do log an idea in GitHub issues. You know, so if you go to GitHub issues, just click on issues and hit new. And write your idea, and if you find any examples to documentation, just stick a link in the comment below. That would be awesome. How to start an open source project? Hilm Mardins, thanks for joining. Do you all recognise my cap as well? Alienware. So I thought, you know, making a game, aliens. I wear this cap today rather than my Ubuntu or other stuff. Ubuntu cap. So to start open source, you just create an account on GitHub and create a repository. Just by using, once you've logged in, you just hit plus and you say new repository, and by default it will be open source as long as you don't change it to private. And for private you have to pay anyway. So yeah, and that's open source. And if you want to contribute to open source, you can contribute now by going to this repo. So github.com twitchcoders/warpblaster, and just create an issue. Click on issues and then hit new, and that will be an open source contribution. I've got 1 star. Oh, who starred it? Sneakies, thank you. See, that again is an open source contribution, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. And we had someone fork it yesterday, and it was Rudbar. So thank you very much for forking it. Oh, Lynn, I haven't shown you my cup. I'm really proud of my cup. So it's a GitHub mug. I was going to do something really stupid there and try and show you the bottom of it, and all the drink would have gone everywhere. That would have been a disaster. So, done the issue with the example of what I meant. Okay, awesome. Let's have a look. Allow ship's rotation to follow mouse. Nice example of this. Cool. Okay, we will get onto that. So let me actually create a milestone on GitHub so we can order some of this. So let's just do MVP. I create that milestone, and then if we go into that milestone, we can then actually add some issues. So if we add all these issues to this milestone, MVP, and then actually if I go to that milestone, I just want to rename that quickly. I'm going to say 0.1, v0.1 MVP, save changes. Now if we go into that milestone, we can order this. So player shoots number 1, and that's ordered. And then I put background music and oops, that didn't work. Player shoots. Oops, this milestone has changed. Refresh and try again. Okay. Right, player shoots, and then we've got these two after. We can do ship rotation next or music. We can kind of move these around. It doesn't really matter too much. Okay, so player shoots. Right, so we want to randomly position the ship. And I did see an example somewhere online like that. Oh, Mr. The Mercer, I'm just gonna call you Mercer. Thanks for forking, and thanks for starring. Oh yeah, please look up resizing the ship, and then we can, actually I should probably put another task, but I'll put it further down. And then when someone figures that out, we can add that. Resize the ship smaller. Where'd you get? Oh, the mug. I got that when I placed an order from GitHub. I ordered loads of GitHub stickers, I mean like a whole wad of them. And I got the GitHub mug. And I don't know if you've seen on my laptop, I've got the Zelda GitHub decal, is that pronounced correctly? Which is like 8-bit decal on my laptop. So yeah. Oh, another star as well. Simiot TK. Thanks for the star. Okay, this is going to be the next like Call of Duty 20. It's going to be awesome. We're almost there. Okay. Oh, you did see my decal. Cool. I found this resizing a sprite, but it's pretty much what someone else already said. Sprite.scale.set to value, value. Okay. Oh, I can share the link for you. Thanks, Lynn. Yeah, maybe that's for the resizing example that you found. Maybe that's for phaser 2 rather than 3. I mean, this person's got a similar problem. What did they say? Use display width height or function set display size to resize as these will adjust the sprite scale. Is it just for a sprite though? I don't know. I think we can try. Let's see. So we've got player angle. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's duplicate that line, and we'll say rather than angle Also, was it a function? I think it was. So if we just say 2, let's make it bigger, just to see. Set display size, width and height. Okay, I'll just put 2. Is that 2 pixels? Twice? Maybe 100? 10. Okay, because 10 will see it. I think. Cannot read property spacebar. Sorry. Oh, the resize did work. Andrew, it's fine. You carry on. Don't worry. It threw up an error, but it still worked. So it did make it the actual size. So we could make it maybe what, 50? There we go. That's a better size, and we can move around. That way, when you get kind of power-ups and points, maybe you can kind of grow a bit. A bit like Mario, right? You get the big mushroom and you grow a bit. And then it's like a Mario Cross Asteroids type game. Anyway, we're way off that yet. So, okay, so we've got the resize. Okay, so let me go back to the issue and say resize the ship smaller. Tick, we've done that. Okay, what else? Randomly position the ship. I did see somewhere an example. Dev, stop linking. I didn't link anything. Oh, okay. It probably just thought, yeah, it probably just thought, I don't know. Nightbot. Any issues we'll have to try and iron out next time. Oh, you know how to do music in the background. Lynn, tell us how to do that. That's cool, because that is one of our other issues to do afterwards. Dev Journey, stop linking. I don't know, whatever your post, you know, it's timed you out for 600 seconds. But Dev Journey, you are in Discord. Just paste whatever you want to paste that Nightbot thinks is a link. Just paste it in there. Okay. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna share this link. A friend of mine wants to join. Trying to build a game live on Twitch. Let me just share this. Give me 2 seconds. Actually, do some research while I'm doing that, and I will show off my big screens again while we're doing this. Okay. And I'll do phaser. Okay, just 2 more seconds and I will be back to breaking the game. Okay, awesome. Right. Okay, I am back. Dev Journey, I'm going over to Discord to see what I was just going to say. Do you have access to this.game? So in the console, you can, and does it show? So anything with a dot is considered a link. Oh, really? Anything with a dot is considered a link. So it's the this.game that that caused it. Okay. Right. We take the iPad off. I don't know what do you prefer, seeing me or the back of my head? I'll do it with the back of my head for now. If I pick my nose, you can't see it, right? I was joking. If I pick my nose. Right. What were we doing? I forget. Oh, this. You wanted to see what it was. This.game. I think you have access to this because this is. Oh no, this is called afterwards. So the issue we have is game is called after that. So I could do a console log in here, I suppose, of game. Console log game. And then if I refresh this now, oh, I get nothing, interestingly. Okay, no, it doesn't work. I thought it would. And I suppose in level 1, I don't know. Not sure. Oh, I'm not sharing Andrew anymore. Sorry, Andrew. Let me go back to you. There we go. Right, okay, where have we got to? What were we doing next? I got a bit distracted. Randomly position the ship and starting location to be the ship. Okay, starting location of missile to be the ship. Okay, Andrew, which bit are you doing?
Well, I'm not sure why spacebar's not working, because that's what in their docs, their examples are using. So I'm just trying to use A now to just trigger a fire event in effect.
Okay.
All I want to do is basically do your missile code to initialize a missile appearing in the same location that you've got. So it's not going to be anywhere different.
Okay.
Just be, here's a missile on the screen. Yeah, fairly simple, hopefully.
We can use A. That's fine.
So let's see. No, it doesn't like keyboard A either. So none of the keyboard caps seem to be working, even though all the examples say use phaser keyboard, whatever.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're on phaser 3?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Obviously, the docs are all phaser 2, really. They haven't got much on phaser 3, so it's possible.
Let me check.
So I will continue looking. Don't worry.
Okay, continue looking. I'm going to then look at randomly positioning our ship within kind of a border, not anywhere, but kind of within maybe a box area. Let's see. So a score to settle, text on the screen. We're not that yet. Not that stage yet. Do they have any other examples? So this is the stars. We'll probably use this for like the baddies, right? Actually, you know what? It might be easier. I might just stick some baddies on the screen. They don't do anything, but let's just maybe stick on that. Iterate, set bounce. Okay. So let's do that. Let's add a baddie. So in this, what would be a baddie in a meteor, I suppose? What does that look like? Doesn't look very nice. All kind of roughly look the same. Okay, I'm sure when they're smaller they'll look better. Astronaut, is it going to be a baddie? That's an astronaut. Okay, we will do the where was it? Meteors. Here we go. Let's pick the first one. Copy relative path, and could you just add a random X, Y if you want to set up and down position set? Yeah, that's true. So this is the position, so we can just add a random to that.
There you go. We've got some missiles showing. If you refresh and hit spacebar.
Oh, I need to probably save it on mine. Wait a second. No, did you send it to me? Do I have the code here? Here we go. Fire.
I have saved it, so spacebar should put another missile. It's just in the middle of this here every time you press the spacebar.
The one that comes up after you refresh, is that still happening, or is that meant to not be there?
I haven't removed anything, no, so the original one's still there. I can take that one out.
No,
in theory, you don't need the original one now. All I need to do next is start the missile from the location of the ship.
Well, yeah, it's definitely not there anymore, so you have taken it out. But my spacebar doesn't work. Oh, there we go. No, I didn't have the. For some reason, I'd have to click on it to make it work. Nice. Okay. Cool. Pew 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 pew. Sorry, I do like that noise. Okay. Awesome. So we've got that. Okay.
So for those that are interested, you can see the code that the input is the bit I was missing. They've added input as another class, I guess, wrapping around keyboard.
Got you. Okay. So was it? Yeah. So something they must have brought out in what phaser 3?
Yeah, possibly. So now I need to just grab the location of the ship and get the missile to start from wherever your ship's at. So let's see if we can do that. But you carry on with your bit.
Okay. I was just going to do the random ship. So hopefully this all ties together. Let's see. I did see an example somewhere. So phaser 3 random position, and there was something within, rather than just using a JavaScript random, there was a random position something. You could. Oh, so use. Well, they do just use a normal random, but one of their examples, I did see there is a specific like phaser random thing you can do. But if not, we'll just do random. Hopefully this is number phaser 3, it doesn't say, does it? Doesn't have a date on it either. Just go round. This game, random integer range, yeah, so that's what I remember seeing, something like that. Okay. So integer in range 50 this game. So what's the first one? Is that the starting point and then the end point maybe? Okay. Let's try. Need one more bracket there. Let's give that a go. I might just do. Let's just put it in there. Let's just see. So this game random integer in range. This is a guess. This might be Phaser 2's code. I don't know. 50. This game. Wait, let's just save that. Let's just see if something changes. Where's Chrome? RND undefined. Oh, game is undefined. Because it's in here and it comes later on. Okay. Interesting. Oh yeah, this is using ES5 stuff, using with the prototype stuff. Okay. Bad example. We'll just do a JavaScript random. I think we can just do that, right? I don't know how to do a JavaScript random. ES6 random math.random. Not floor. How do I specify oh, I see, you're going to have to do this if you want it to be an integer. Integer doesn't matter too much. If it's a fraction of a number, I don't mind. Oh, okay, that might cause problems. Let's just do the whole lot rather than being lazy. Okay, so for here, let's take that out and put that in. And then we're going to start off maybe, or we can start off at 0, I suppose, for the X, so that's left to right, so start off at the far left. Although it's from the center of the sprite, I remember reading yesterday, so we might want to just maybe start it off as 50. And then the Y position, we probably want it could be anywhere, I suppose, up to the height of the game, which was about 600. So we just say, 600. Or I could make it fit 500, and then if I add 50, therefore it'll be between 50 and 550 all the time. So you've got 50 at the top and bottom, which it won't go to. Before I get too fancy, I should just see if it works. Yes, look, different positions. It's always quite near the beginning there. I guess the 50 is too small. So what we probably want to do is it can go anywhere up to, it's 800 wide is the space, or if I remember correctly in the game file, 800. So maybe we don't want us to appear right at the end. So maybe anything up to halfway, 400. And then again, we'll just do a plus 50 for that as well. So refresh, kind of down there, up there. Yeah, kind of all over the place. We can still move, and we can still fire. Yes, look at this. Okay, awesome. We should, if anyone wants this committed up, let us know, and we'll commit it up now. But otherwise, we'll just commit it towards the end of the stream, maybe in an hour or so. Okay. What else have we got? So we did random position, and we tick that off on our things to do. Randomly position ship. Nice. Okay, starting location of the missile to be the ship. Is that the bit you're doing, Andrew?
Yes, I think so. But I'm just changing slightly because it looks like there's a different way if you're using well, this is back in Phaser 2 doc, so maybe it's not. It says add weapon is the way to do it in there, but it doesn't look like that actually is a valid thing, so I'm going to undo that. Okay.
Okay, and you've done press the fire button to fire the missile, so we've done that. I'll tick that off the list. So sound effects for each shot. Maybe while Andrew's doing the position, we can do the sound effect. Okay, I don't know how to do that, but I did read something the other day. Let's see. Phaser 3 add sound effect. Can someone find a sound effect while we're doing this? Well, I'm researching how to do it. I don't know if that this pack had anything like that. I think it's just images rather than sounds. Yeah. I don't need this anymore. That was an old one. We don't need that. Oops. So let's close that and delete that. Okay. Right. Okay. So for phaser 3, add sound effect. Audio sound complete. Is it phaser 3? Phaser. Press 1, 2, or 3. Okay. I like the blaster sound. Right. We can use that. I could do that all day. Right, just like a kid. This is an example for phaser 2. We will update soon for phaser 3. Oh, should do this. Oh, it didn't work. That was embarrassing.
There you go, right. You've got the missiles firing from the ship now.
Really? Awesome. Okay, check out what I've done.
I think they need to be shifted off from the ship slightly because otherwise it looks like they come from the middle of it. So let's just shift it over there.
Okay, let's have a look.
What's she done?
Nice. If I move around, does it still work? Oh, awesome. I don't know why I have 3 coming off though. Oh,
yeah, I think it's because if you press and hold, it just gets a constant stream. So need to probably reduce how many come out because it's on the key down, right? You need to just get it to do it one time.
Yeah, and then maybe delay, like have a, cause that's for a power up, right? So when you get a power up, you can go. So at the beginning, it'd be like this, and then when you kind of get more power ups, it'd be like, and then machine gun style. Okay, this is what I was showing. I haven't implemented yet, but what I wanted to show was I was looking for sound example, and it said down here phaser 2. So I was doing this. Oh, it doesn't work. Press 1. Oops. So why do we need some more examples in phaser 3? Okay, I'll find another one. I do like those sounds actually. Maybe I can download that sound. We'll come back to that. Oh, cool. Oh, sorry, I'm missing the messages. I'm getting carried away with my shooting noises. Right, what have we got? Trying to add sound to it. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, key press style. I'll have a look at key press. Cheers, guys.
Cool. Random MP3. Lynn, if you're on the Discord, I think you can just send me a link or drop the file in Discord. I don't think you can do it on here. Okay. This is being held for review. Because of God Greeny, your message, you need to review it because you swore. I will allow it. So Lynn's found a random MP3, sounds good. What else has God Greeny said? So I think they have key press or something, right? Okay. Sounds good. See, team effort, making a game together. Right. Okay, so I'll look how to add the sound effect. Let me turn off my big TV because I'm not using it at the moment. And what was I going to say? I'll look how to add the sound effect, and if Lynn, you could send it across to me or send me a link or something. Oh, every time it links to this page, and then it's annoying. Sound FX. No results. Okay, that's good. Sound manager, create bass sound manager, phaser sound. No, this is not what I want. This is version 2. Phaser part 3, but not phaser 3. Let me just, if I go to tools and just say in the last year, therefore it's kind of the newer results. Oh, Lynn, yeah, you can't post links in the Twitch chat. It says, I don't know, you can't see it, but what it says to me is, ping Lynn, what did you think? I was gone forever. Stop posting links. Makes me chuckle. Right. I'm not going to that one. Anything that's phaser.io, I'm not going to because it just takes you to the same page every time. Sound effect example. Oh, you can see that. Okay, I don't know if anyone else can see that. Probably not. Probably just you and me. That's what I was saying. If you join Discord below, you can just use your Twitch account to log in, and then you can paste links. It's just like Slack, but I'm trying to find it. It's actually, I'm recently this morning found out it's a bit better than Slack. I think. Maybe blasphemy, I know. But I've also noticed that lots of open source projects are on Discord rather than Slack because you don't pay per user, and you don't have a limit of how many people can join the call. You can have unlimited. It seems pretty interesting. It's something I need to look into. Yeah, and pay for the whole account. So if I wanted to have higher quality video and stuff like that, you pay like $5 per month. But that's for the whole account. Rather than on Slack, you pay per user. So on my dashboard hub Slack, I was kicking all my friends off that only chat like once a week because I'm not paying £5 per user. If then it just kind of occasionally on. I just joined a React Discord as well. Hey, no React talk here. When we were pairing, when we were gonna pair at 11 today, we were gonna talk about Angular. No, I'm joking. You were gonna give us a comparison to React and Angular. I'm joking. It's all phase 2 docs though, so it's a coin flip. Okay. How? They're on phase 3.3. It can't be that hard. Phase 3. Add sound effect example. But because the devlog's not what I want. They don't have any examples, do they? Oh, they do. Oh, okay, they do. I take that back. Audio and audio sprite. I kind of don't get what I thought sprite was for the image. Sneaky Gamer, thanks for joining. No, I really appreciate it. Have a good day, and you'll see the finished game at the end of the day. Call of Duty 20, like super 3D VR. Yeah, no, it's not going to be finished today. It's not going to be that good either. But no, thanks for joining, and you can see how we get on. Right, so audio. Kisek, I don't know if I pronounced the name right. We Rock Tech is just another community I started a couple of years ago, trying to encourage more diversity into tech, and I have discussions I record video discussions with people who are getting into tech, who maybe found it a bit scary at the beginning, but then realised actually there's a great community out there and lots of people want to help, and going to events and hackathons is great. So I did stuff around there. So it's got a YouTube channel. Do have a look. I'm actually kind of winding it down because I just don't have time for it anymore. But I will leave the videos up there. I've probably got 6 more videos to also discussions and videos with the people. I chop myself out the videos, so I want it to be about them, not about me. Yeah, that's what I've done. I bet it makes billions, man. Thanks for your support, Sneaky Gamer. It's good. I hope so. Okay, so anyone who has just joined, we've got this game so far, firing like 5 bullets at a time, and we want to add sound effects to this. Okay, let's just look at the code of what Andrew did to get that working. I'm just gonna go see game add audio. Cool, thanks for that. Let's give that a go. So let's have a look at what Andrew did. So Andrew, in the create method, he's added the space as an input, and then he said capture that input as well. And then in the update, if the fire is down, he said
I would say God did mention as well that perhaps try on down, but on down looks like it's attached to something slightly different. So I'm just having a look into the on down piece. It might be that I have to attach it slightly differently. So I did try just doing .on down, and then you've got an add you can do to add events or whatever. So
okay.
Just having a bit more of a read around. So
okay, cool. So looks like Andrew's added physics, add an image, and the image is missile, which we declared at the top up here. And then he's done an angle and he's set velocity. Okay, that all looks good. So that's what Andrew did to get it positioned. Oh yeah, so with the position it was this player.x and this player.y. So the missile always came out of the ship. Plus 30. Can I change that y value, Andrew, so it's in the middle of the ship, or have you done that already? Well, diversity is not...
I've muted.
No problem.
Y is the up and down, so if you add it to Y, then you could have two missiles, you could have one on a plus or one on a minus, have them fire next to each other. Like the X is where you want to push it out, that's just what I've done.
Oh, you've got it right in the middle now. Okay, perfect. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So Ayaki, I can't pronounce your name. I'll just say Yaki. Not girls in tech. Diversity is not just about girls. It's about minorities. So ethnicity. There's so much to it, which doing We Rock Tech really helped me learn about that. So yeah, and it's also about being inclusive. It's not just about diversity. A really good example that I saw on Twitter last week was being diverse is getting invited to the party, but being inclusive is being asked to dance. So it's not just about being there, it's also about being involved and so forth. Okay, be right back, going to get breakfast. Breakfast? It's like 11:15. Lynn, it's time for lunch. Okay, no worries, but thanks for jumping out of bed to watch this. Okay, so what was I doing? Oh yeah, so I got given different usernames on Discord and Twitch. Really confuses me. But MioTK, who I think is Dev Journey on, if I got that right, on Twitch, has given me some code to game.add.audio. Okay, and how do we? But isn't that to add it to the game? Do I want to add it to the player? Well, let's just try it, add it and see. We'll see how it goes. And I've copied that and I'll put Andrew back up now. I don't know how to put this pen back up. There we go. So you can see Andrew concentrating and working really hard. Oh, the sun is shining now as well. You can see from behind my screens the sun coming in through the blinds quite strong. It's going to be a nice day. I'll cut the grass later on. Keep the family happy. Okay, music, game. But actually, we don't have access to the game in here, which is strange. I mean, if I put music, if I put it right at the top, say, and we don't have this .game, I don't think, because game is created later on. I'm not sure. Yeah, coding is. I see it as coding or programming is an art, and you do need to be passionate about it to do it. I think it's like learning anything, like learning a language, even a spoken language. If you're not passionate about it, it's going to be very hard to learn it. But I think people aren't being invited to, who might want to learn it, but they're too scared to join in because their voices won't be heard, won't be included. So that was the keenness of We Rock Tech. Let me, Lynn, you never shared the music. Let me have a look. Gaming sound effects. YouTube, no. YouTube, no. Download. Sound effects pack, yes. Free game sound effects. And again, we can change all these actual resources later on. Okay, what have we got in there? 2,000 game sound effects collection. Wow. Download. Okay. Let's see what we've got. Okay. Let's have a look. Where is my folder? Here we go. And let's go up one. So this is an asset. So we're not using ship anymore, so I want to delete that. We are using Sky at the moment. I don't think they had a background stuff. Vector. No. Okay. And so Sky we'll keep in for the moment. And we'll copy this in. Free game sound effects, so sound effects. Let's rename it. What have we got in here? probably don't want to commit all these up, maybe. Alarm. Okay. Not explosion. What have we got? What can people see? Tech weapon. Oh, that sounds awesome. That sounds like a really powerful weapon though. Maybe we want to use that one for later. Yeah, no, that one. Weapon, weapon gunshot. Yeah, we'll use gunshot, and then later on when you get the power up, it's going to be more powerful. Okay, weapon gunshot. I don't like the spaces in the name, but you know, we'll do that. So it's a WAV. Okay, I'm sure it's fine. Right, so I've moved that in. Oh, I've got some messages. What have we got? I think there's a big difference between two groups of people here. We have people who really wanted the science behind computer science and people who show interest in developing some of their own stuff. I do not care so much about the engineering aspect. The latter I think is completely fine and encouraged to get more diversity in tech. The former I think should not advocate for my diversity in the way it's currently done with girls, days, etc. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Some people are, you know, some of the minorities, so if it's diversity like gender or ethnicity, are a bit nervous about going to events where it's just, you know, 95%, for example, guys. So they do those days to build up their confidence, and then after they've done one or two of those, they'll probably go to the mixed events, and then those events will, so the mixed events will then have a better balance. So I think, you know, a long time ago, I probably used to think the same as you, and thinking, well, why have those specific days and limit who can go? But it just builds up their confidence, and then they can go to more of the mixed days. And so I think all in the end, it will balance out okay, and then we won't need those anymore. I mean, I guess the goal we want to get to is not have days where it's specifically for a group of people. You want to have it so they're all mixed. Anyone who wants to go can go, but we just need to work towards that. Evie Brink, yes, thank you for joining. So Evie Brink is another streamer who's learning to code and sharing her coding journey. I think that's really good and important. So she says, for me at least, yes, it started with wanting to build my own stuff, but eventually led me to pursue a degree in computer science because I wanted to learn more under the hood. Yeah, a lot of us probably started out that way, just kind of tinkering, trying to get things to work, and then you know, when you think, oh, it's actually quite fun, quite enjoyable, you kind of dig deeper into it. I'm doing a lot of talking. Andrew, does this remind you of the VR hack that we went to, where I end up doing a lot of talking and you end up doing most of the work? I think I see a common pattern here.
Well, I'm just trying to understand the docs really, so yeah, you like to do the talking, get everyone enthusiastic about it all, which is great. You need that side of things going on. But yeah, I think one of the issues we might have here is we're trying to run before we can walk a little bit, and organising the files might be helping, because it looks like a lot of docs, for example, a missile on the screen, that would have its own file, and you create a new instance of that, and you can then attach things just to the missile itself. But we're trying to put multiple objects into one game file, which I think is perhaps causing us some problems, but that's okay. We can split them out once we've got some of the basics working. But I think there's different styles, ways you can put stuff into place if you organise it differently.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to, if it makes it easier, happy to split it out. We'll do like one step at a time, you know, get something working. So it's kind of in a working state now, so if you want to split it, we can. Or if we want to add a bit more, we can split it afterwards. I got an associate in CS with Java being the main language. All of my web stuff is self-taught. Honestly, it scares the hell out of me. I'm just trying to get a career in the industry. Yeah, I don't have a computer science degree as well, and a lot of people that I work with don't have a computer science degree. But having a computer science degree and doing stuff like technology like Java does help, because then you get the good programming basics. Whereas if you start off with another language that's more relaxed and not strictly typed, then going the other way, if you ever do need to go to more strictly typed language, like Java or TypeScript or Go, then it makes it more difficult. Yeah, come in.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. You're not streaming.
I am streaming, and everyone can see you. Wave. But you can interrupt, they don't mind. I can put a holding page up or something.
Don't
Andrew, tell Sarah the truth. This is my wife, everyone, by the way.
Oh,
I don't want Sarah to know. There's what, 15 people sat watching you at the moment?
Yeah.
okay, great. Did you get my WhatsApp message
No, I haven't checked. WhatsApp's closed. Let me have a look. At least you didn't say anything rude or embarrassing.
this time?
Yeah, can I do that in 45 minutes? No, like now?
No, it's
Okay.
just, that's why I texted you 45 minutes ago. It would really help me out.
Okay,
You might
I need to
choose-
go for like 3
Eddie, stop
minutes.
being an idiot.
Some people are saying hi. Put your GitHub t-shirt on that I got you, and then, you know what, I want to bring up your GitHub account, and then they can see the t-shirt that you're wearing. Here we go. If I go GitHub,
You're going to be in so much trouble later.
I know. That's my wife, and for my birthday, she got a GitHub t-shirt, and she did a photo shoot, and yes, I use her GitHub account sometimes as well. But she doesn't use it. She's not a techie, she's not a coder, as much as I've tried. But she checks my English, because my English is terrible. So, you have to excuse me for 2 minutes while I have to go and help with something. So, I need to keep in her good books. So what I'm going to do, let me see. So I can mute myself, and I'll try and not knock over the tripod behind. Actually, what I'll do is I will also put this screen up. And yes, I will mute myself. Andrew, you do some talking while but if I mute myself, then you won't be able to talk. I won't mute myself. You carry on. And
I'm sure everyone can wait for 2 minutes. Just be quick.
you do the talking. Tell them what you're working on.
Well, I can talk a bit about it, but there's obviously nothing shown from my screen, so I can't show what it is I'm trying to look at.
Okay. And what was I going to say? I'll put the game up on the screen rather than Sarah. Let me remove Sarah. There we go, there's the game. And there are some questions. What open source projects are you working on? So if you want to answer some of the questions, I'll come back in a couple of minutes.
What open source project are you working on? I don't know what you're working on.
You know what I'm working on, right?
Well, obviously you work on
And-
some of your own stuff.
Okay, back in a sec. I've got to go. I want to get in trouble. 2 minutes.
Yeah, and Eddie gets involved in all sorts of things, so I don't really want to talk about exactly what he does, so I won't get it correct. But I know he has his own project, Dashboard Hub, which is an open source project. But it's more for a business use, I guess you could say, and a bit of fun, which is what we're trying to do right now. But yeah, his project is for software development. You've got multiple environments, you can monitor those, and it's just to help give some monitoring for environments and manage the development cycle for things. But really back to the game, I suppose I can't show a great deal, so if anyone's got any questions they want to ask, I can try and answer them. Obviously we're really just starting. I think Eddie started this last night. He did about an hour or two on it, and he asked me to join him this morning, and I'm trying to just play catch up and read a little bit about it and figure what's going on. Yeah, I don't have great deal to say, so any questions, feel free to ask. If I was screen sharing, I could talk a bit about it. If anyone's got any tips on what to do, if they've done some of this before, please shout. The one thing I'm trying to figure out is when we're firing our missile, why is it to keep on just looping around? Obviously, it's detecting on a key down event. So if we hold the key down, it just keeps on adding more as quick as it can. But there are some other events that go on. And the documentation is not great when you're looking at phase 2 stuff. And it says, yeah, phase 3, basically you just got to look at some examples, which is what I've been doing. I've been looking through some examples, but most of their examples are for a more advanced project than this, where they've split everything into lots of files. So yeah, maybe we should have started and just stuck with phase 2. I know Eddie was keen to just use the latest and greatest, but the latest does come with drawbacks like a lack of documentation. So yeah, I'm looking on their GitHub project. They've got something called Photon Storm on there. It just says phase 3 examples. So if you want to have a look, then Photon Storm seems to have quite a lot going on with it. I'm tempted to clone the project locally and just see how they've put things together. I hear a door.
What did I miss? 19 people. I go out the room and it goes from like 11 to 19. Shall I just go?
No, I'm just talking. I'm talking to just cover you for a minute. But I was just explaining how it can be a pain with such a new project, a new version of something, when their documentation comes out of sync. I mean, one of the things that we would normally do on documentation is we would put the documentation that would to do with the API into the project. So the GitHub project would have documentation. As you make changes to your project, you would ensure your documentation is kept up to date. But if you're maintaining those as two different entities, trying to keep them up to date at the same time becomes difficult. And it perhaps comes back to a question earlier about documentation generally around doc blocks. If you're building an API like this phaser piece is dealing with more of an API library, they should really have doc blocks in a lot of their code, which they do have a few things in there, but they're not generating their documentation with that. So you have to dig into their source code, see what's going on. Anyway, I'll let you carry on. You've got the screen, so to talk about what you're doing.
I can't even remember what I was doing now. I'm still worried about being in trouble with the wife afterwards. You didn't realise I was streaming. You thought I was just on a call with you, Andrew. I did say I'm going to go on a call with Andrew, but I might have missed out the streaming part. Hopefully she didn't say anything too embarrassing.
It's good to show a house. So just wait. I've for a couple of days. The wife and kids are down with my in-laws for the weekend, obviously being Easter summer holidays. So when I do some of these streams during the week going forward, I'm going to do it quite late. So hopefully it's in bed, tucked up. But chances are they're going to keep running in and out here in the background in the future. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's always good fun. So if anyone else has joined, so I broke something. 1 second, we'll just comment that out. I was starting to add something. What was I doing? It was the sound, wasn't it? Let me come back to this, the game audio, save that. So anyone who's joined, what we're doing is building a game, open source, and if you refresh it, the character, the ship starts from anywhere, so it's random. And then when you move, you can move it around. We did this, was this yesterday? We got the moving around yesterday. And then we've also now got shooting. Okay, there are lots of missiles coming out. We need to put kind of a rate limit on that. Otherwise you can do stuff like this. And draw some pretty pictures. So we need a rate limit on that. And I'm just about to try and add some sound. So when they go like this, it's like pew. Actually, I've got a better sound effect. This one. And then when you get a power up later on, I want to do something like this. Actually, that might sound even better. The gunshot, I'm not sure. We can change it. Let's try and get it working first. So, I put in this line, but I don't think we have access to this game. If I just put a console log, I don't think we have this .game. Oops. Oh, I can't write today. Right. Undefined, yeah. I didn't think we had access to this game because it's in. It's called after this. So I might have some other suggestions in Discord. This load audio missile inside of the preloader. Okay, sounds good. I've got it. I did have it. I didn't think I did. Okay, let's just change this. And then audio we will call fire, maybe. And the path is going to be sound effects. And it's in the MP3. And we had it as the gunshot. Copy relative path. Okay. I have a feeling though, I hate the spaces in this name. I need to change this, rename that. No, I want to delete that. I want to move all these files up one. Oh no, I'll just rename it, it's fine. Rename.
Just from the questions on the site, Unity, we went to a hackathon about a year ago doing a VR hack, which we did use Unity for to build a game. But Eddie was keen on this that we had to go with something completely new, and because we've been doing a lot of JavaScript for the last year, to try out a JavaScript library to do some of this. So yeah, I mean, I spent probably about 3 weeks with Unity a year ago. I'm sure it's come along a bit from there. I'd love to actually build a bigger game, but the VR hack was interesting. We built a little arena with some dragons flying around, with the objective being that on the Vive it can pick up where your body's at, so you could jump around and basically interact with these dragons, catch them, headbutt them, whatever you want to do. That was quite good fun. But,
and we won that VR hack. We did win it as well.
And we did win it, yeah. I think that the objective of the VR hack was to introduce people that have never used VR stuff into a VR environment, get them enthused by the idea of VR. And a lot of people built their games as sit-down games, so you'd have like a zombie shoot where you're sat on the back of the truck. Yeah, you could look around, but you're still sat down. They like the fact that ours got people out of their seats moving around. Because that's what virtual reality is all about, is interacting with the environment as well as a screen. So,
yeah, we won that one. I didn't do much work then. It's a bit like now. And yeah, I didn't like Unity because it was just like drag and drop, a bit like Photoshop. So it was kind of, I wanted to do more kind of coding. And we didn't do hardly any coding that weekend.
The nice thing about the drag and drop is it forces you down a certain way of working, whereas with this, there's certainly the documentation doesn't help, but it doesn't feel like you're being given a sign as to where to go. Unity is a bit more opinionated about what you need to do. That's one of the things I do kind of like, yeah, drag and drop, it felt a little bit like working with some, say C# building a desktop app or something, but they are desktop apps, so and that is the most efficient way of building it. If you're building it on the web, yeah, okay, we have to interact at a bit lower level. No one's come using tools for any of that yet. Otherwise we'll be back in the world of Dreamweaver or something.
Okay, so I have to answer a question. So Yaki, hopefully I've got the name part right. I'm kind of missing the end. I don't know how to pronounce that. I said give level 1 an instance of the game in the constructor. So you're saying assign super. So you're saying like this dot game. Can you do that? I don't think you can do that. I'm not sure what you mean. By all means, do write an example of what you mean. No, what do we have in phaser scene? Okay, so do we have anything? Okay, so let's get back to the sound. So I added this audio, so I loaded it. Oh, I need to put that on the preload as well. Oh, I hate this name. Let's rename it. Oops. Let's rename it to weapon, gunshot, rifle, swish.
One of the biggest things I'm finding with Fluebits that's a problem is undoing stuff. If I hit undo, it undoes your stuff.
Oh, is that what just happened with this? Yeah, don't use undo, just kind of maybe go back and change it. I've been using undo and I haven't really thought about it. It's not working. Undo.
God Greed is asking another question about his press, you see. I was going to try and go back to the previous version, see if his press was available. I don't think it was. I think that was one of the ones I looked for. I was going to double check, but I can't go back to that version now, so I need to figure out how do we actually have different versions of this code that we're working on. It's not so easy.
But if it's just, can you not just change it to just like wherever it is press, can you not just change to whatever you need? Rather than just undo?
Well, I was trying on because I found, but this is a slightly different format of the file, that they're using on to interact with a single press on a key.
Okay.
So that's what I was looking at, was following what they were doing there. They were using this on down space. But yeah, is pressed. I think I need to go back to the previous method to try and see if that was available. So I'll carry on down this path for the minute, but at some point I might just jump back or try and get back to the previous version. I've probably got some local history I might be able to look at.
Okay, so yeah, that's true. Yeah, the JetBrains IDEs do have their local history. So I don't think this is being used at the moment. We probably can delete this. Let me just check if I delete that, does it work? The fire isn't working. Is that because you're changing stuff?
Yeah, fire
seems
to be broken, but it doesn't seem to be picking up on up down space, even though that's what's in their phaser 3 example. If they're doing that, it doesn't seem to actually work.
Okay, I'll leave that with you then. So I want to do this load audio. Let me just see if I can just have a Google and get some music going. Phaser 3. Oh, version 2 again. You can see it right underneath V2. If I hit this, it's going to go out to the same page. Okay. You can never find anything in these docs. results none. Audio. File types, audio sprite. What else have we got? Just click on the first one. Key URL path. So now you can loop stuff and you can do various things. Well, it could. Where is all this stuff? Their bad docs for version 3 must be hurting them. Okay. I don't know how old this one is. No, it doesn't help. Anyone can find. So we've got the audio loaded to the game, but I need to, I guess, run the audio at a certain event. I'm not sure how to do that. Phaser, if I just do phaser, audio effect. Oh, phaser JS. Because phaser is like, I guess, like a phaser gun. A research tutorial rather than. Let's just see if that does.
Just for God greedy there, I did revert the code just now. I've tried looking to see if it's available. Maybe that's another phase 2 entry.
Oh, 2005, that's going to be phaser 2, isn't it, for sure. 2015 even. Past year. Don't say what version they're using, but I'm guessing. Yeah, 2015 is too old. What about this one? Doesn't say. Yes, I want to get the score and life. I want to add that sort of stuff. We're not there yet. What version do they include? Okay, it just says JS phaser min. It doesn't say what version it is. Let's see if we can tell. It does look similar to ours, the way they built up the game. So maybe it is 3. Load sky. The images look similar. The sprite looks similar. Sound effects. So they do that, which we did. Okay. And how do we get the sound effects to play? So what have they called the sound effect? Bark sound. We just go bark sound. They have got game. So where did they get game from? How have we done? So we have cursor, this input. So we could probably go. Where did they get game from? Game, add group stars. Go a bit higher and find out where game came from. Game, add sprite. Game, physics, arcade. Okay, where is game? While everyone's watching me struggle, what do you think of the pairing session? Is it better than one person struggling to watch 2 people struggle? I know Andrew did a streaming yesterday by himself, and I've done 2 weeks of it by myself. I thought the pairing was a good idea, but do correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I think pairing was something that we've never done against. Do something like this, we need to take a week of just reading documentation or something and be a bit more prepared. I don't know, maybe people enjoy watching others struggle. Pain of others is sometimes a fun thing to see.
Okay, so I've realised that game is right at the top and it's created here, but we create that in a separate file that happens after our kind of level 1 JavaScript file gets loaded. So we haven't got access to game. They do game.input, and when we want input, we do this.input.keyboard. So we might be able to just use, and with the physics, I did have a physics line in here somewhere. What did we use for that? it was this physics, so it kind of omits the game part. So maybe we can do that. So let me find the sound effect again. Because load audio we did as this load, so that's fine again. So this has got game add audio, so we could probably do this add audio. I don't know how we do it to the actual. Okay, then you play it when something happens. Okay, I see. Let's go back then. So we've got this. So we load the audio, and on the create, we want to probably just do it right at the end. And say this. Something like that maybe. Okay, bark sound doesn't exist. We've got fire. Fire, okay. And then what they've got down here. Add audio, and we want to play it. Just kind of bark sound. Where does bark sound come from though? It's some magic. Must be, because that's audio. They've created, when they add the audio, they set it to bark sound. They go dot play. Okay, so add audio will go this dot not bark, fire equals that, and then where was it? I lost it now. Play. Okay, so let's just play. So maybe when you press, where's the space? Is fire is down. Okay, we can stick it in here. Firing true.
Yeah, I've just changed to adding a variable to monitor if we're firing at the moment or not. So when you press the bar down, it will just say we're currently firing. Then when you lift it back up, it'll take it off and allow you to fire again.
Got you. Shall I try that?
It's a different way of doing it. I can't find in the phase of 3 way of doing things how you can detect a single hit. Maybe this is what they want you to do.
Okay, so if I bring this up
the
here.
examples are set up differently to what we're doing here, where they've got everything as individual files around a single sprite being put on the page.
But no, that works. I think that's good. I think that works well, because you can press it really fast, but you're going to get tired quite quickly. But I think that's good. You know, you can go as fast as you can press. I quite like that.
Yeah, well, we could add a delay in there and say wait for a few milliseconds before you can fire again, perhaps.
Oh, we can add that later on. I think it looks good. I think that's really good at the moment. So I was going to try and add a sound effect to inside here, but this bit didn't work. This add audio. So that kind of got me a bit. I was trying to use.
Well, one of the things I would say is looking at the docs, when you do things like firing something off, every time you fire a new object and it goes off the screen, it looks like it never actually gets deleted, so we could have a memory leak situation going on here. But if you've got them set up in the other style that the examples give, as individual sprites, you can set bounding boxes and say when this sprite leaves the bounding box, delete the sprite and free up the memory. So yeah, we could have an interesting memory leak issue if you've got a long game. But again, things that we can improve maybe with versions.
Yeah, definitely something we need to improve on the next version. Okay, so that doesn't work. So when I was trying to use their example and they say game.add, I was trying to do this.add. That doesn't quite work. And the way we've got physics.add. So maybe it's something audio other way around. So if I comment this out, maybe it's audio.add. Let's see if that works. Add of undefined, so even audio doesn't exist. Why can't we just, do you reckon I can console log this and see what's inside? Here we go, what have we got? Add, here we go, we can see this. Can everyone see this? This actually helps. Cameras, cache, I don't know why I didn't do this before. Data, event, fire, what's fire? I don't know what firing. So physics we are using, oh it's sound, not audio. Right, okay, so we want to go sound. And in sound, what do we have? Sounds. I don't know if add will exist. Okay, that looks like it's okay. Okay, that looks good. I don't know why. Let's put that at the top. I've broken the fire. Why is that broken the fire? Did I break something on the fire, Andrew? Was that you? We probably should commit when we get things working. Rookie mistake, not to commit as you get things working as you go along. I didn't change that, so let me just uncomment that. Sorry, comment that out. Just see. Oh, it was. That sound did break. The it's fire. Oh, fire's because you's down here. That's why this fire is down. Okay, so maybe I should say change the sound variables to fire sound. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. I know it took you. You got that before me. I know it takes about 20 seconds for the chat to come through. So fire sound. I prefer that idea, and I might. Yeah, that should be good. And then in here, what we want to do is probably at the end go this dot fire sound dot. I'm hoping it has play. Let's have a look. I think Andrew's popped out for a second. When he comes back, if we can have sound playing, it'd be awesome. Let's see. Moment of truth. Everyone crossing their fingers and toes and all the rest. Oh, it worked! Okay. Good. I think I'll reward myself and shortly with some lunch. I'm not sure about that sound though. It's pretty heavy. I don't know if we'd choose the other one. Gunshot, there was the phaser one. Let me copy this. Copy relative path. Let's just change this. Oh, you can change the volume. Okay, nice. Yeah, we definitely want to do that. That's a bit loud. It kind of goes on for quite a long time. I think that's okay. But yeah, definitely change the volume. Right, okay, where can we do that? Add, can we do dot volume? Can. Is it a function? 50? Is that 50%? That does not work. Okay. I don't know if add returns itself or not. Volume is not a function. Does it need to go on when it's loaded at the top? Fire.sound. Load that. I don't know if it goes on there. Can't. Audio is not. It's not an object, is it? No. Try a float. Ah, okay, yeah. So what are you thinking? 0.5. I don't think it likes the function though. Fire. This dot fire sound dot volume is not a function. I mean, is it going to be just a property? Did you hear that? Look, we've got sound working. I'm well excited. But it's really loud. I don't think volume does that. Let me just check the output in here. So we've got, it was sound. What do they say? Got master volume. Does it have sounds? Here we go, here's ours. Volume, okay, volume's got a volume of 1. So you're right about it probably being a float. That does sound good. However, how do we set it? Is it, I don't know if it's a second property. Is there a strictly typed languages are much easier. sound. Add, and we did config, and what does config give us? Is there a volume? I don't think there is. What does config give? You've got duration, total duration. Must be a volume. Oh, maybe we can use the play. Play has got optional sound config object to apply to this marker. Okay, so on play, but it doesn't say what the config object is. Let me search for volume. Oh, set volume. Okay. Okay, let's give that a go. Set volume. 0.4, make it a little bit less. Okay. Set volume is not a function. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's what it said in the code. It does have a set volume. On what's the object? Audio sound. Okay, so maybe it's not on the fire sound. Maybe it's on the audio. We say fire. And I think Google's gonna have to come to the rescue again. Phaser, JS, sound, effect, volume. Phaser 2, no, on Phaser 3, please. What does this one say? Andrew, don't be shy, do give us any good news that you're having on your end.
I'm letting you drive things. If you want me to look at anything, let me know. Otherwise, I'm cloning this Phaser 3 examples project locally. But
Okay.
So far, it's downloaded 100 meg and it's at 12%.
It's it's going to be all the binary assets, so the images
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
hey Marishu, thanks for the follow. It's going to be the images and the sounds and all those binaries. So here it does say sound dot volume equals. I think we tried this before already. Trial and error development. Is it quieter? It doesn't sound any quieter. 0.1. Oh, it does work. So the 0.5, we didn't notice much of a change. So that was me racing ahead and thinking it wasn't working, but actually it did work. I think one of the first things we got suggested in one of the first things that we tried. Okay, so I think that's better. Okay, that's good. So let me tick the things to do. So we've got the missiles starting from the ship. We've got that. Andrews did that. Tick. And sound effects for each shot. I'm going to commit this if everyone's happy. Andrew? Everyone else?
Yeah, go for it. It's actually not running locally, though. I'm not sure why. It looks like it's missing a WAV file, so maybe you need to upload something.
Oh yeah, I haven't committed the files yet. They're going to be quite big, which is a bit annoying, but I will do that. Let me do that now. So who wants to tell me what to write in the git command? Who remembers? So I spent 2 weeks going through all the git commands and so forth. Who wants to drive? Who have we got? Okay, let me look at the names of people that have been chatting. So we've got, starting in alphabetical order, we've got Evie Brink. I know you're getting into coding, so do you remember or do you know some of the git commands that I need to get this uploaded? So Andrew can get it running locally. Who else have we got? God Greeny is on there and has been chatting. Myself, who else has chatted? Pingley, and I think XCX has been chatting as well. I don't want to name any of the others because they've been quiet and I don't want to call them out. They do chat, I will kind of include them a bit more. I have no idea how to use GitHub. That's fine. Okay, so Pingley has written, I got some comments, let me catch up. It's just coming along. Yeah, it is. I think I like your enthusiasm, and you're kind of like me. I'm really enjoying it too. So okay, git add. Okay, what are we adding? So you've put a dot, so we're going to add everything. Maybe what I like to do is do a status just to check to see if I do want to add everything, because there might be something that I've downloaded or included by dragging and drop from my downloads folder into the project folder, and maybe didn't do something. So what I like to do first. So EVBrink, you are right. I like to do a git status -s. And this is listing what's changed. So you can see level1.js, it says mm. And the first, don't worry too much about the 2 columns, but the first column is the staged and the right column is the unstaged. Don't worry about that. We'll look at the right column. So we have got an M, which means to be modified. So we could always do a git diff source level 1 and see what's changed. And this is, we can see the red is what's been removed and the green what's been added. And we've got a D, so I deleted the ships file because I didn't want, we're not using it anymore for the ship. And then I've added this folder and I've added this folder. So this was the first one is for the images and the second one is for the sound effects. So yeah, but we do want to add everything. So EVBrink is right, let's do git add. But it's always good to check because you might have a PDF or your IDE has created a temporary file or something that because it crashed or whatever it did, and you might not want to add it. So let's add all of them. And it's going to be a lot because of those sound files and basically all the binary files in the assets directory. You can see it's really thinking about it. And if I do a git status -s now, it will list the individual files. So you can see all of that. So most of them have got A. There was a D halfway towards the end, and we've got an M. So we've got an M, we've got A's to say they're added. Excuse me, and we've also got a D down here to say it was deleted. So now we've done a git add. We'll follow the instructions in the chat, git -m, and then we'll put a message within quotes. So we'll say, what should we say? What have we done? We have we've got sound effects for the shooting, but also we've got okay, so ship shoots with sound FX. What else? Is that it? Git shoots with sound effects. I think that's about it. And we'll put a dot at the end to say we want everything to be committed. I mean, they are all green and they are all staged, so you could actually omit the dot in this case, but creature of habit. So we've committed that. I wonder how big the project is. So we have a look. du -sh will show it's a Linux command, and it will show us how big the project is. 46 megs. Okay, that's not too bad. Andrew, how's your example that you're downloading? Is it 100 megs at what 12%? How's that going?
Well, as with most things on GitHub, it lies a little bit on the percent side, but it's now at 240 meg. But it seems to be downloading really slow from GitHub. I'm getting 300, 400 kilobytes a second. Should be going like 10 times faster than that.
And what percentage are you at?
It says 64 now, so it's 240, nothing 64 now, but I ignore the percentage a lot because it's based on number of objects, right? So it's at 9,800 out of 15,000 objects.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna I'll do a push, so Andrew can have this and get it working locally, and all of you can also have a play. So that's pushing it up at almost 2 meg a second upload. Hey, we'll show Andrew up with his slow download, and in the README. So I've pushed this up to GitHub now. So if we go back to the beginning of the project, you will see everything will be there. My last commit, ship shoots with sound effects, and this screenshot is actually out of date. So if anyone wants to update that, feel free to do that. Don't add the don't add the image to the code base because it's going to be an image that's changing all the time. Just create an issue and say new screenshot or something, and drag and drop into here. And then it will give you a URL, and just grab that URL out and then put that in the README markdown. If anyone wants a hand with that, let me know. But we have got a quick start in here to get it running locally. So just to recap, I do like that sound. Okay. Right, what else have we got on the list? So on the issues list of things we have to do, it's kind of a good place to stop. It's 12 o'clock, it's lunchtime. What are you thinking, Andrew? Add npm start. Okay. if you've got an issue here, to easily start the app. Okay, Pingly, thank you very much for that. Let's add that. It's an easy one to do. I think we can.
Obviously, I think maybe it is perhaps a good time to just wrap things up for the moment. But I know the next things you want to do are things like scrolling backgrounds and stuff, and adding some enemies to shoot, right?
Yeah, I mean, scrolling background maybe as a step after. So let's add some issues for that. If I go into the milestone, actually, let me add lins to a milestone as well. We'll do that at the top. That's quite a good thing to have and quite easy to do. So that's at the top. And if we add a new issue, so what were we saying to do? Scrolling background, we can add that. So I'll put that towards the bottom, scrolling background. Hit enter. Okay, let's grab that to the bottom of the to-do list. And then baddies, so asteroids. Asteroids. Did I spell it correctly? I don't think so. Okay, put the I in the wrong place. That's embarrassing. No one saw, don't tell anyone. You did not see the spelling mistake. Okay, and what we're going to do in the asteroids, so we should put display single display object, right? So we'll display an asteroid, and then we will, what else we're going to do? We want the object to move around randomly, or how are we going to, it's breakfast time there. God Greenie, where are you? Where is everybody actually around the world? What else? So we've got the asteroid coming in. Well, not coming in. An asteroid appears, and then what do we need to do? Is it going to move in a straight line? Just maybe to get it move in a straight line. Add velocity, and then should we shoot it and let it blow up and explode, or would that be a separate task? Maybe add that as a separate task. Physics. So what physics? What do we mean? Do you want it to collide with us? Well, that's pretty easy to do actually. The display object and velocity. So let's add it. Keep it in this story. Oh, you're in the US. Cool. Whereabouts in the US? US is massive. I didn't realize how big it was until I got a cousin in San Francisco and I went to New York. I said, oh yeah, we'll come over for the day. We'll hire a car and we'll drive over. And they were like, it's like a 6-hour flight. And I was like, a 6-hour flight? I'm not driving anywhere, near that way. And we couldn't see them in the end because we couldn't pop over for a day. We didn't realize how far it was. So, yeah. And Evie brings in Spain. Spain's cool. My wife's Portuguese. Well, half Portuguese, half Thai. So we're in Portugal a lot. And I have a web engineering event in Spain in September. It's a really good event. I go every year. It's an unconference. And it's quite cheap. It's like, I don't know, 50 euros or something. And it's 2 days on Saturday and Sunday in September. I go every year for the last 5 years. And web engineering, we talk about JavaScript or whatever people want to talk about. Because it's an unconference, we organise it on the day. And definitely check it out. Black Rat Prime, thanks for joining. So Black Rat Prime, I've known for a long time. And he's an awesome coder, and he got me into TDD and BDD back in the day, and I go back 10 years now maybe. And he's a big fan of Ruby. Okay, so with our asteroid, we're going to do display object, add velocity, and what else do we need to do for it? Could we do people jump in with suggestions? On Midwest, not much tech going on there. You need to start some tech stuff. I think this is where Twitch is really good. So I'm about an hour out of London in the UK, and I find it hard now that I'm not working in London to go to events and so on. So this is why I thought Twitch streaming was really good. You can kind of bring the events home. I'm actually going to an event I think in a month. I do want to live stream the hackathon, and then people can join who aren't actually physically there. 10 plus I think. Yeah, we're showing our age now. Display object, add velocity. So ideas for this asteroid that's going to come in and into our game. And for Black Rat that's just joined, I'll show him our game. This is what we've got in our game so far. So we have our spaceship, And we have it can shoot and it makes sounds. I'm so proud of that. You do not understand. So it was a good team effort. So I can't take the credit for that. Yeah, remote collaboration is the way forward. You've been working nearly remotely for seven years. I've been working remotely for like 2 years and I just couldn't think of anything else. It's just amazing. So I'm still struggling with this, we're creating this issue. So we've got asteroid coming in. Do you want to display the asteroid? Do you want to add a velocity to it, even if it is just straight across the screen? And then what else do you want to do to it? Do you want to shoot it? I think we should shoot it. Shoot asteroid. Shoot it. And disappears, actually it's probably the same thing. Then explodes. Explodes, disappears. Disappears. And we probably want points after that, so on the next story, if I add this.
Yeah, I was going to say, you want to store, don't you? A scoreboard at the top of the screen.
Scoreboard.
That's perhaps a different story. I think you're going to make a big story if you add that to one issue.
No, scoreboard separate, yeah, I'm creating it as a new one. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So scoreboard, display starting score. Okay, that's just going to be 0, but we'll get that going. And then we also want increment score.
I think your friend Black Rat there is suggesting recreate asteroids.
Where is it? Okay, I'm a bit behind on the chat. So if I could go down a list from where we read 7 years. God Greeny, varying velocity with varying size of asteroids. Yeah, we'll add that. We'll do that as another story maybe to enhance that one. Working at home is the ultimate goal, but I need to get into the industry first. Yeah. At the beginning, it's harder. You do want to kind of, I guess, sit with people a bit more and so on. Splitting into smaller ones. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Right. So you have a bigger one. When you shoot it, it splits into smaller one. We'll do that as a new story. We'll do that. Let me log those in a second. Just updated my forked repo. Yes, nice. So I did a stream on that week before last about updating your fork, how you add a remote, which is the upstream of the original repo, and you fetch the new changes, and they don't change your local working directory, and then you merge in upstream / master or whatever the default branch is. So nice one, Pingley. Good to hear. Right, let me log some of this. So increment score after shooting asteroid. Okay, so new story. What do we have? I'll add that to a milestone. Okay, let me add that to a milestone. So new one, I'll do the milestone first so I don't forget. What suggestions do we have? Excuse me, varying velocity. Velocity and size of asteroid. Okay, add that. What else do we have? Splitting into smaller ones, splitting asteroid into smaller ones. Okay, we'll go through all of these in a second. Variable scope based on size of asteroid. A variable score scope. I do need lunch. Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's a good point. So we'll probably add it, splitting asteroid into smaller ones. We should do this maybe as a large asteroid splits into smaller ones, worth more points. Split asteroid. Okay, update that. What have we got so far? So adding asteroid should be first. Has everything got a milestone? Actually, let me just check. MVP, this one hasn't. Scrolling background. Oh, it does. No, that does have part of the milestone. 8, and if I go to the milestone, we should have 8 still. Yeah, we do. Okay, so that's all of them. So this is at the top. Scoreboard should be after the asteroid. Varying asteroid size and splitting. Oops. So if we go, and then, so you might shuffle these two around. The varying velocity and size is probably easier than splitting into the smaller one. And we can say also if it's faster, so faster asteroid worth more points, and we can also say larger asteroid requires more hits. Do that. Go back to this. So this afternoon we will put an asteroid on the screen, we'll put a scoreboard on the screen, then we'll try and tie the two together tie two together, and then add very velocity and the size. So the faster it comes, I think you should get more points, and if it's bigger, you maybe should do it 2 or 3 times, and then we can do ones that split into smaller ones as well. And the npm start we should put right at the top, make it easier. Okay, cool. So then we'll catch up on these messages. Direction of asteroid. Okay, so we'll put it under the velocity maybe. We might split it out later, but vary velocity from a direction and size of asteroid. We might split that out if we decide it's becoming a bit bigger. Score should be under varying size rather than a task on splitting one. Did I not put it under here? Worth more points. Oh, do you mean actually in the whole? Score should be under varying size rather than a task on splitting. Worth more points, split asteroid. Not sure what you mean, Black Rat Prime. If you can elaborate, I'll go on to the next chat. So we've got Matrix Kid 44. Just curious about how much of your time at work is actual coding. So as a developer, I'd like to think all of my time, but in reality, no. We have to. I mean, you do pairing, so you might not be coding, like pairing with someone. You might be helping a junior out. Meetings with the business to understand what the requirements are and what they want. We do DevOps stuff, so building up CI, making improvements, efficiency, maybe doing performance testing, pen testing, which does involve coding and technical stuff as well, but actual coding, probably like, I don't know, what do you think, Andrew? 25% of the time, 40%? I'd love it if it was 50% of the time.
Yeah, it depends on the team, I suppose, as well. There's a number of factors. So if you've got a good day where everything is clear and everyone knows what they're doing, you might get as much as 50% of your day on it. But other days, if there's a lot of negotiation, you're waiting on an answer for something, you're discussing how to go about doing something, standards and those kinds of things. There's a lot of conversation as well. But this actual writing code, I think there's some statistics out there that suggest that a developer can only really spend 10 to 20% of their day actually adding new code to a project. Whilst they're always working around the project, the actual new code element is in the kind of 10 to 20% mark typically. That's kind of an average. But there's some information out there, you can look at on Google as well, I'm sure. But whenever I've had sort of people talk about it, it tends to be in the 10 to 20% on average. But yeah, you get good days where you might get 50% plus, and you get bad days where you just spend the whole day firefighting. So for example, one of the things we've had on some contract work we've been doing for the last week has been firefighting with our continuous integration service. I wouldn't say we've been necessarily adding much new code, but we've been having to reorganize things, clean things up, tidy up weights on things from the CI so that the continuous integration that runs all our tests automatically is running smoothly. It depends on your job. As I said, if you've got a team where you've got dedicated people for test automation, dedicated people for looking after the operational side of things, then you can spend more time coding. I think as you become a more senior developer, your time is split between so many different activities that the actual coding time starts to drop away a bit.
Just gonna jump in there, as Black Rat has joined, I want to show him my awesome setup. What do you think? I'm hoping he writes back going, that's wicked. Rather than mine's better, I've got a whole wall of screens and it's more impressive. So there's the stream from Andrew before, and then here is the people live at the moment. So yeah, so I hope you're impressed, Black Rat. Still got fewer screens than you. Oh. Okay, you need to share a picture. I need proof. Come on, this is a lot of screens. Apple LG 5K, Apple LG 5K, iMac Pro 5K, 49-inch
You need
LG.
to compare on pixels, right?
Yeah, okay, so that's a lot of pixels. And the 4K 49-inch LG. But I love it. Okay, thank you. Yours are all bigger. That setup is filthy, although I use a PC. You win on pixels, okay. Yeah, the 5K screens are nice, but the computer does struggle. When I AirPlay to the 4K on top, the iMac, even the iMac Pro running 3 5K screens and yet 4K above, you can feel it start struggling. It's a lot of pixels. Right. Let's bring my phone in too. Have you got the iPhone 20? I've got a really old iPhone, so mine won't have many pixels. Right, okay. Black Rat, I've ballsed this up. What were we talking about on this? You asked me to take something out. I think I've done it wrong. Where was it? Oops. Not that one. Splitting asteroids. I took it out of this. We can split it. We can move it later on. I'm going to put it back in what I originally had. Catch up on the chat. What have we got? Unless I bring my phone too, well, that's more for testing React Native apps than actually developing. How much do you earn as a developer? Ice11111, thanks for joining. It's difficult to say, so as most of us here, or all of us here, but I know Black Rat, myself, and Andrew, we're contractors, so it varies depending on the contract, the location, and what work they want to do. So it does vary. It's hard to say. So split.
I think the best way if you want to get a feel for if you're getting into the market is to look at some places like there's an IT jobs website that can give you kind of a range depending on location. So there are some websites that might give you a feel if you're trying to get an idea of how much money could you be earning if you were to get into the industry.
Yeah, but split should be separate from scoring. Okay, got you. Yeah, I've got scoreboard and I've got it display the score, and I've got it so that increment the score after shooting an asteroid. There's no asteroid exploding or disappearing. And then what I've got is in the splitting, I've got it to say it's worth more points. So I was just having the scoring's already done, already set up, but we're just having it that it's just, rather than saying adding 1 point, it might add 2 points, for example, and then split the asteroid. The numbers have gone up, so I just want to quickly show the game again. Again, I'm still obsessed by this game already, because we've all coded together, and it moves around. Oh no, what have you done, Andrew? The rockets are going the wrong way. Is that like a power up or something?
I was trying to get the rockets to go in the direction of where your mouse at the moment. Yeah, they're flying sideways across the screen. If you notice, I've added this input pointer move method to try and grab the X and Y pointer position.
Of the mouse?
There's an angle being calculated based on a position on the screen. I need to change that position to be...
So what you want...
Put it on our X and Y for the player, right?
So you want what, the rockets to follow the mouse?
Well, someone was talking about having the rockets or the ship face.
I think it was the ship, wasn't it? Maybe. So.
Yeah, well, the rockets will go in the direction of the ship, so it's the rockets, and
okay.
The ship should be a similar process, right?
I think it's gonna be too hard to play, so you're gonna have to move left and right. I can't hit spacebar with that hand, and I have to use the mouse. I don't think that's gonna kind of work.
Well, you might have to move to sort of a WASD configuration.
Yeah, I don't think that would work so much. Let me catch up on the messages again. Work for non-profit now, so less than before. If you split, so we can anticipate that scoring won't, or will they split down to the same size? Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah, I guess you don't want it to split to the same size. It's going to split smaller. What was the name of the conference in Spain you were talking about? Let me grab that link. Yeah, you should definitely go. Like I said, I go every year. Where's my browser? It's web. Oh, let's come over here. It used to be called PHP Unconference, but now because they don't, not Web Summit, Web Engineering. because we were always talking about different things depending on who's there. Web engineering, it's in Palma. Whereabouts in Spain are you? There we go. WE, it's Web Engineering Unconference. This is the one. I'll share the link in the chat. It's in September, yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, the prices have gone up. The community member ticket, yeah, 109 euros, it's not bad. Right, okay, let me go back on the chat. So, if we split, so you can anticipate that the score, or will they split down to the same size? They won't split down to the same size. So it will split smaller, split asteroid into smaller asteroids. Okay, and then you're saying, the reason why I put scoring in there was because I was going to get a score for hitting it. But I see what you're saying. You're thinking that when you shoot it, it splits into the smaller one, and then you get points for shooting the smaller one. I was going to give points for both. So I was going to say, yeah, I said worth more points, but probably not actually, because you'll get the smaller ones. Valencia, I'm moving to Madrid. Cool. I haven't been to Madrid. Don't know where Valencia is. I've done, what's the other big place? Barcelona. I went to a Java conference in Barcelona a couple of years ago. It was good. So yeah, worth more points. But you're right. You would shoot the small. You have to shoot the smaller ones as well, and you would get points for the smaller ones. Okay, let's need some thoughts. Let me put a note in. Needs some thoughts. And by all means, put another comment in below, and we can do that instead. Yeah, this worth more points. I'm not sure about now. Now I see what you mean. What your thinking is. Worth more points, or only count the smaller ones. Question mark. Okay, I'll leave that as a question mark. So what have we got? So NPM start. Right, it's coming up to 12:30. I am getting quite hungry. I think it might be time to stop for a break. Andrew, what's your plan for today? Are you doing some more Venza streaming after lunch?
Yeah, I was looking to do another session at 3 o'clock, carrying on from where I left off this morning, which was working on my own project. So obviously Angular, Node, those kinds of tools, rather than something I'm not familiar with. But I may spend a little time over lunch, just let's say recreating some of this stuff in the format that the documentation suggests as well. So perhaps if we come together again a bit later on to do some more, maybe I could show some of that if I get some time for it. Obviously, quite busy with lots of streams we want to do today.
Okay, cool. Well, I was writing, so I missed the beginning of what you said. Did you say you're going to come back after lunch, do Venza, or are we going to continue with this? I missed. I was writing. I missed what you said.
That's right. Your mic cut out on that. I didn't hear it. Hopefully it was coming through on Twitch, all right. Obviously over this chat, it does a little kind of listen, doesn't it? It's like when your voice talks, it goes through Discord. Anyway, yes, 3 o'clock. Looking to do another stream. So.
Is that for Venza or for gaming?
I'll be carrying on with where I left off this morning.
Okay.
Angular.
Okay. Angular stuff. Okay, cool. Well, I hope to do a couple more hours on this game later, and I'll do it either before Andrew or after Andrew, so we don't run at the same time. So if people do want to see the Angular stuff, they can see it. And he's going to make me feel guilty because I haven't done any of my open source project dashboard hub and the Angular stuff on there, and he's doing as well. So he's going to make me feel guilty, but I'm quite enjoying doing a bit of gaming with you all, or writing a game with you all. So just to show it on last time. I hope you fix these rockets before you stop for lunch, Andrew. I don't want a broken ship. You know, what if like aliens come?
We'll get something in there.
Andrew, can you paste your Twitch in? It's you're a mod, so you can actually paste a link. It'll be fine. So yeah, come to the worst. If you don't get the mouse thing working, we'll just have it so the rockets shoot forwards, and then I can continue by putting this later on, putting the asteroid in, and so forth. So cool. I'll keep coming over now after a wedding soon. Thanks for joining, Black Rat. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon, I'm sure. Okay, time for lunch, everyone. Thank you all very much for joining and taking part and pairing with us. Again, I'll show my setup just to show off. We'll catch you later on this afternoon. We'll be streaming on and off throughout the day, and then back to normal on Monday for me at 5:30 with Dashboard Hub stuff at 5:30. So yes, cool. See you all in a bit. Enjoy lunch. Thanks everyone, and thanks Andrew for helping out with the game. It was really good.
That's alright. I'm not sure how much I helped this time. I think you'd have got plenty done. It's good.
I think everyone helped. I had links on Discord and stuff that really helped. And
it's good to get lots of conversation going. I think that helps a lot. How we're getting engaged and excited about it. Definitely. It's it's going to be a journey. I suppose if we're going to keep on going with this game.
Well, let's keep adding to it. It's open source, so if anyone sees any improvements while we're having lunch, create an issue, raise it, put a comment in, or even if you want to create a pull request and make a change, then go ahead. We can all go and talk about it. All right, I'll catch you all in a bit. Cheers, bye.